Thinking Media in association with boxer Oladipo. We're here at the Jermaine Franklin Anthony Joshua press conference. Just tell me, what's your initial thoughts? Are you feeling that this could be a banana skin fight, or is this just a walk in the park for AJ?
Boy, heavyweight boxing, no walk in the parks, right? I don't think it's a banana skin either. I'm going to stick to what I said when this fight was first announced, that AJ runs through Jermaine Franklin. I said that if the AJ that turned up against Alexander Usyk second time round turns up April 1st, that's enough. Like, I was there for Franklin White, and this isn't discrediting Jermaine Franklin. Obviously, he can box. I think we saw that against Dillian White. But AJ's a level above. I was surprised this fight was made, if I'm honest with you. When I thought of AJ opponents, I never thought Jermaine Franklin. I heard Otto Volin, we heard Dillian White, some even were talking about Hrgovic. So because of this, pressure for me is all on AJ to get the job done, and I think he will. I think AJ's going to look good. I don't think we're going to see much of Derek James yet, because I feel like that's impossible after one fight camp, but I do think we're going to see a good AJ. And an AJ, hopefully, that's destructive, strong, aggressive, and fingers crossed gets a knockout. We haven't seen AJ sort of knock someone out clean for a while, and I think he might do it April 1st.
Talking of AJ kind of bringing that ruthless side of his back, the press conference today, he was all going smooth sailing, and then he went, "Fuck the bullshit, I'm here to fucking fight." Did that surprise you, that comment?
Yay and nay. Obviously, normally it's like super clean cut, right? But sometimes, it could just be a sort of a frustration build-up. Maybe there's a bit of hangover and spillover from the Usyk defeats. There shouldn't be. There's a lot of talk. I've seen the posters, new dawn, rebuild. I don't think he needs a rebuild. Again, he lost to Usyk. This is no scrub. When he lost to Ruiz, obviously there was that, okay, what's going on with AJ? Alexander Usyk, I think, will prove, even when this Fury fight gets made, that he's a very, very good fighter. So, man, I don't know. I thought there's a bit of frustration from AJ. He's getting asked the same questions. I'm going to interview him in a few minutes, and hopefully he doesn't swear at me. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes we hold him to such a high standard. So when he does say a swear word, we're like, "Oh, what are you doing? Don't swear." Everyone swears, bro.
Do you think that's because, because early on in his career he was very straight down the line, he was all, just clean cut, and people used to mock him and say, "Oh, he's media trained, etc." But he obviously represented himself in a business sense to attract sponsors, because he can't go in a foul mouthing. But now I think you get the feeling the brakes are off and you don't really give a shit.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, right? He's got all the sponsors, right? He's got all the sponsors, he's got all the money, he's had the titles, he's got the fame, he's got the big house, the car, that's all there now. Sponsors still want to be on Team AJ, but he's got everything. And he's always said as well, when I've spoken to him, that there's Femi, and then there's Anthony Joshua. There's Oluwafemi, Watford boy, and then there's AJ, the brand. So, I feel like he'll always try and, hold the game to a high standard and respect it. It's a game that we want to see these sponsors come to boxing. We don't see a lot of boxers being sponsored by top brands. So I think he's done well attracting them, but now he's got them, I think we can see a bit of real AJ come out, and I don't mind it.
What do we make of the fact that he said he's in it for the money? I've never heard him say that before. He's saying he's a prize fighter, and now I'm sure he said in a previous fight that he was in it for the legacy, etc. So that surprised me a little bit. What did you think to that?
I like that. Honestly, I've always said, as fighters, go and get what's out there. It's a dangerous sport. I think Mike Tyson was one of the first people that said the belts are just rubber and plastic, or rubber and metal, that they mean nothing. Obviously, they mean something, but ultimately, it's that paycheck. You're going in there and you're risking your health, and sometimes your life as well. Get paid as much as you can. I don't know if he said it tongue-in-cheek, because it's not like he's short of a few quid. I mean, the Wolves are not at AJ's door. But, he knows he's the highest paid boxer.
We don't see him flashing the cash, though. We don't see him in flashy Lamborghinis or anything like that.
Never. You see a Range Rover, you barely see a watch on AJ. And yeah, that's a free one, right? It's a free, he's sponsored by Land Rover. But yeah, he's not one to flash the cash. He's never really spoke about money. Hey, who knows, right? It could be the influence of being around Charlo and Spence and Frank Martin and those guys in the States. Who knows? But I don't mind it. We know that he gets paid well. Canelo's probably the only person on planet Earth that gets paid more. So he's not short of money, but he wants more. Hopefully he starts spreading that wealth around, because I'm his Nigerian brother. I want a bit of that as well.
I bet you do, man. And talking of money and wealth, Dazn have changed their price points. I know you work for Dazn, so we're going to test you here. What do you make of the price point changes?
Interesting. I spoke to Joe Markowski about it, and I said, look, this one isn't on pay-per-view. But then obviously there's a lot of people that have said, okay, it's not on pay-per-view, but the price points have gone up. And look, I hate it. I hate price going up. I hate pay-per-views. I hate prices going up. I understand from a business standpoint, sometimes why it's got to go up. But if the Dazn are going to increase, then you've got to make the card stacked. You've got to increase cards. But it's not just, remember, DAZN isn't just boxing. Obviously, we're here for boxing, but DAZN, in certain countries, there's the football, where they've just signed an NFL deal as well. So I think as long as they can add sort of to that catalogue, so it's not just boxing, you're adding sports, ideally football, then I don't think people will mind the money going up. If the money's going up and all we feel like we're getting is just some boxing shows, and some people feel like we're not getting stacked boxing shows, that's when there's a problem. So hopefully, I remember it isn't just Matchroom as well, it's Golden Boy. Hopefully we can get better shows, more stacked shows, and fans don't mind paying. I've always said this, as much as we hate pay-per-view, if it's good, if the product's good, fans will pay. If it's $19.99 a month, but fans feel like they're getting amazing stuff for it, like, oh my God, this is, wow, world championship fight, big fights, you don't mind. You mind when you feel like you're not getting your money's worth. And I feel like fans right now are like, 1 second, we want a bit more. So it's up to DAZN, Matchroom, Golden Boy, Joe Markowski to make sure fans get their value.
I saw some comparison earlier. It said, for £25 on BT Sports you get boxing, football, UFC, rugby. Sky Sports for £34 you get boxing, F1, cricket and darts. On the Zone you get boxing, chess and NFL, which I'm assuming British fans are not going to be interested in chess and NFL.
No, they won't. I will say this though, a lot of British fans are getting into the NFL. When it comes, I was here watching the NFL in Tottenham, but again, look, that's why they need to add to the catalogue. Obviously they're trying things like PFL. I don't know how many fight fans are going to be excited about that. But yeah, the catalogue needs to be better. I've always said, I feel like DAZN, in terms of lift-off for them over here, it's some form of English football. And it, by the way, it doesn't need to be Premier League football. I'm talking League Cup. I'm even talking Championship. Like, you need to get football, and I think that's the big one. I think they're working behind the scenes. Obviously, they got the NFL, which was a big one. I think it's now football. I think you get that, literally football, and that's it. All the conversation stops, right? Even if it's like the Amazon Prime ones, where Amazon Prime do a little chunk of football once every 5 or 6 months. Even if it's that, I think people stop. But look, I think they know that they have to make them a bit more stacked. They need to improve it, and that's up to them to hopefully do in the coming months or years.
Last question for you, Ade, is I spoke to Shane McGuigan and Dominic Ingle. They both share the same viewpoint that they feel Anthony Joshua has reached his peak, and whatever we see now is probably not going to be his best. What do you make of that?
I find that, honestly, I find that crazy to think. He's such an athlete and such a good sort of boxing. He's got such a good boxing mind. There's still more to come. I think the good thing about AJ, and yes, he's 33, but if I were to ask you, give me the amount of tough fights AJ's been in, like wars. You know, when you think of like Chisora White, wars, the brutal ones, Joseph Parker, Chisora. Very rarely. Like Klitschko, he took a couple, obviously big ones. Ruiz wasn't really a war. It was just kind of a strange knockdown. Usyk. So I still think there's a lot left. I think he's fresh. He clearly lives a life. I've never, ever seen him in bad shape. And we'll see what Derek James offers. But I still think there's a lot to come. Look, I'm not saying there's a lot in order to beat Fury or Wilder, or maybe even Joe Joyce needs to be brought into the discussion. But to say that he's reached his peak and it's a way down, I disagree. I'm one of the lucky ones to have been in the gym with AJ. I've watched him train. I've watched him eat. This guy's a machine. He's a machine. Maybe there's a few things he needs to work up on top. Could that be confidence? Possibly. But to say he's done, nah, no way on earth. Again, he got beat by Usyk. Do you know what I mean? He got beat by Usyk. Usyk's probably, and I know this is cruiserweight talk, the best cruiserweight we've ever seen. If Usyk were to beat Fury, it's a big if, because it's a tough fight, he'll be double undisputed. That means you're going down as an all-time great. That's the guy that AJ just lost to. So I think people need to understand that. It's not like he got knocked out by Usyk or stopped by Usyk. He got beat by Usyk. So I think people have read into those defeats a bit too much. And that's why I'm not really a fan of the new dawn and rebuild talk. Rebuild maybe after Ruiz loss. Rebuild after Usyk defeats. I think people have taken it a bit too far. But maybe that's my Nigerian talk, and I'm not quite sure what's going on right now. I'm getting passionate. But no, I think he's still got a long way to go. I think a couple more years and a couple big fights.
I appreciate your time. I'm just going to chat.
One second. When am I getting the box roll and stuff?
Well, just for the record, you did not. I sent you a code on WhatsApp and you'd never opened it, so it's your fault.
I don't know. Where's my phone? I don't see no phone around here. I don't see no WhatsApp. Can I get some box roll stuff? You know, I can't be wearing Hugo Boss every day. I can't afford this stuff on some box roll. Cheers, my man. Appreciate it.
I'm just going to shout at your YouTube channel as well. As always, Ade Oladipo, spitting facts all the time, and it's growing. I think you've passed 40k subscribers.
Hey, past 40k. It's weird now. Now it's like 150, but 50 seems so far away. You know what I wish YouTube did? Give a plaque for 50. The idea of just having a plaque for 100, you got the 100, ain't you already? Yeah. Where's the plaque? I never see it in the video.
I'm
Don't say you don't know
I'm not about showboating, man. I just keep it low level. But
If I get that plaque,
the
we're
plaque
getting a
is.
tattoo of the plaque. We're gonna get a tattoo of the plaque. I want that plaque so badly.
I hate to disappoint you, but it's quite cheaply made. So
Is it not heavy? Okay, yeah. I might make a fake one and just say I got it or something. But no, well done on your channel as well. But yeah, next target 50,000, and then we start dreaming of 100. Let's see if I can buy some subscribers or something.
God willing, thank you.
Cheers, bro.